I think it's been an amazing day here. A lot of people came out, got together, and just embracing smoking weed.
And what are your pledges for becoming mayor, and what are you going to implement if you win, hypothetically?
So the main focus of my campaign is basically policing and crime, specifically knife crime in general. There's 13 candidates in total. I'm the only candidate that's actually addressing this issue. The rest of them are ignoring it. For example, Sadiq Khan pretends it doesn't even exist. So I'm the only one that's formed a plan for this, and it's called Operation Brennan.
And in terms of cannabis and the potential decriminalisation of it, what are you going to do and ensure that the Met Police won't crack down as they do currently?
Well, the Mayor of London can't control the law. The legislation's in place, and that's through Parliament. But what the Mayor of London can do is instruct the Met Police to not make any arrests for possession or for personal use.
So you're basically saying you don't want the Met Police to make arrests for personal use or possession, basically.
That's right. I'd like them to prioritise their time elsewhere to more serious and pressing issues. You know, they can be focusing that time on making arrests for crack, cocaine, heroin. They're the things that have a more detrimental effect to society and, you know, tear families apart.
So with this, if you implement the Met Police shouldn't arrest people for carrying or decriminalising, what do you think that might entail, and do you feel like things might get better with addiction and various things? I'm just being devil's advocate here.
Addiction to what? Sorry, are you talking about cannabis?
Yeah, cannabis in particular.
Yeah, so one thing which I'd like to point out is nobody has ever died from cannabis.
Sure.
You know, you can walk into a shop just over there, you can buy alcohol, you can buy cigarettes freely, there's no regulations around that. Millions of people have died from alcohol, cigarettes. So I think we need to really focus on what the priorities are here.
Sure. Now, what's your take on ULEZ?
It's a fine imposed on the ordinary working class Londoner for the crime of driving to work or visiting a family member. You know, these are called public highways here. Nobody owns the public highways. We should all be free to use these public highways. And the mayor's office, government, you know, councils imposing charges and penalising people to use these public highways is fundamentally an infringement on our rights to travel. So I'll be ending all of them. ULEZ, LES, congestion charge, Project Detroit, the new paper mile scheme that they're trying to implement. I'll just press the button on day one and it'll all be done. All the cameras, they'll be coming down, the infrastructure that's been created to impose it, and I'll be auctioning that all off and reinvesting the money back into the TfL.
Definitely. And now with your campaign, we know there are various other candidates standing. How can you ensure you can potentially beat Sadiq Khan and actually get in?
This is the thing, if you ask any single person right here, do they like Sadiq Khan? You might ask 100 people, you'll be lucky to get one person saying they like him. So where they're getting these polls from, I don't know, but it is absolute horse doo-doo.
Do you think the polls are rigged?
I think the polls are just lies. You know, they might just go to, I don't know, Labour hustings and just ask just people from Labour. I'm telling you, I've been canvassing all over London for the last few months, and like I said, for every 100 people I speak to, maybe one person has got something positive to say about Sadiq Khan.
Have you spoken to a lot of police officers yourself, and have they been quite open-minded about what you're saying and trying to pledge?
Well, as you know, the police are supposed to be impartial, so you know, it's very hard to get a decent conversation out of a police officer uniform on duty. But yeah, I have spoken to a few police officers, and they're very, very interested and positive about the things that I'm offering.
Yeah, definitely. Now we know every weekend there's the usual Palestine protests and Israel protests that take place. How can you ensure on both sides they'll be well managed and policed properly so the streets of London are actually safe for people who are just going out about their daily lives?
Yeah, so as you know, it is everyone's human right to protest. However, the police, they're not acting, you know, impartially at the moment. You know, they're applying certain laws to certain groups that they're not applying to other groups. So that is one thing I will be cracking down on, impartiality. The police have to remain impartial in order for them to serve us correctly.
Yeah, definitely. Andreas, thank you so much for your time on camera today. Do you want to say a few more words to the camera about your campaign and how far you think you'll get within the next couple of weeks?
You know, anything can happen in the next couple of weeks. All I can say is people are awake to the scam at the moment. You know, right now, there's a massive appetite for something different. There's no meaningful distinction between reds and blues. They're essentially two cheeks of the same arse, is what I like to say. And people are awake to that right now, and they want something different. And what they want is me. I'm not a politician. I'm just a regular, ordinary guy. You know, we need less politicians in politics. Rise of the independents. That's what I say. Vote for me on the 2nd of May. Come on.
Andreas,
Set the trend.
really good meeting you. Thank you so much.